Hi, this is Mike Bloom, editor of the Global Voices newsletter. And in this interview, Professor of Russian John Lyles sat down to talk to Jacob Lassin, class of 2012, about his experiences at William & Mary and abroad, and about his plans after graduation. Jacob is one of Russian and post-Soviet studies' most celebrated graduates this year, winning, among other things, the American Council of Teachers of Russian's Post-Secondary Russian Scholar Laureate Award. Jacob also received highest honors for his thesis on myth and memory in the Soviet Union. Let's jump in here where Jacob is talking about how he became interested in Russian studies.
In third grade, we did an Ellis Island project. So I guess you could trace it back to that, where I did one on your family heritage, and I did one on Russia, because that was the closest we could think of for my family. So I guess I always had a little bit of an interest, and then I got to college, and I wanted to take German initially, but it was full, and I took Russian instead, and I liked it a lot. I stuck with it. I took a bunch of other classes, so got really involved, and now 4 years later, I'm a major.
Yeah. What are your plans for after you graduate?
So I just accepted, actually, the other day, Slavic grad school PhD program at Yale, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm still waiting to hear on a Fulbright to study the Russian community in Israel, so knock wood.
Yeah.
I'll get to go do that for a year.
So what would you be studying at Yale?
At Yale, I'd be I'm specifically interested in how Russian and Soviet diaspora groups, so the groups that moved out of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s especially, how they use Russian language media to talk about their Soviet experience and to kind of create an identity in a post-Soviet world, but with these Soviet memories, the Soviet culture that still exists and is still an everyday part of their lives.
Mm-hmm. But specifically outside of Russia?
Yeah, I'm specifically interested outside of Russia, but I'm interested in how social media and stuff is used within Russia as well for this purpose.
Yeah, so could you tell me a little bit about your research that you did while abroad?
So I've done 2 projects while I've been at William & Mary. The first one was when I was at the William & Mary in St. Petersburg program. I worked with Professor Sasha Prokhorov on interviewing a women's activist named Olga Lipovskaya, who's also a poet. And she used to run the only independent women's resource center, women's studies resource center in Russia. I got a lot of funding from Germans, but that funding unfortunately has dried up. So right now the organization is kind of defunct because they don't have any money. They can't really do anything. But I was able to get her take on the state of the women's movement in Russia, on how gender issues are addressed or really not addressed, from what I found. Mm-hmm. And then the second project is my honors thesis that I'm finishing up now, is on memories of World War II on the internet in Russia. So I'm looking specifically at one website called iremember.ru, which is a bunch of oral histories of veterans and talking all about their experiences. And I'm looking at how these oral histories differ from how the war was talked about during the Soviet Union and how it's talked about in Russia today, and how it corroborates that same story. And then I guess one other research experience, that wasn't done abroad, but was done here, was we had a senior seminar there was a senior seminar taught by Professor Yelena Prokhorova about Russian television, Soviet and post-Soviet Russian television. And there were 9 of us in the class, and we broke into groups of 3, and we worked on a research project. And so my group did the Russian version of The Nanny, and another group did a television adaptation of Master and Margarita, the Bulgakov novel, and the last group did Brigada, which is kind of like the Russian version of The Sopranos. It's a crime serial that traces about a decade in this gang, from the end of the Soviet Union up until about 2000. So we presented on those at an international conference where we brought in scholars from Colorado, the UK, Ohio State, so all around the country and the world, really. So that was a really awesome experience because we were involved in every part. We were involved in driving the people from the airport, contacting them initially, getting the programs and stuff together, making T-shirts for it, and all the way to presenting at the conference and taking part in that.
Mm-hmm. So how do you think your experience here at William & Mary with your undergraduate research has prepared you for graduate school?
I don't think I'd be even going to graduate school without the program here. The program is really, really active, which I really like. The fact that we do a film series every semester, we have lectures twice a month probably. We have different events. We have the Moscow Movie Theater Project, which is another project students can do in St. Petersburg, where they interview people about their movie-going experience. We have the And then the class that you take with the William & Mary faculty in St. Petersburg always has an extensive research component. Mine involved blogs, doing a site of memory. Last year, Sasha's group did really awesome films. This year there's going to be a mapping project, as I understand, so really just innovative things. Mm-hmm. And so really, like, it's been a really good experience in seeing the breadth of research and what you can do and, like, how much fun it can be.